Good afternoon, this is Peter Waffles. We're going to do another Kung Fu Masters episode. Today we're going to be talking about a gentleman by the name of Fabiano Luigi Caruana, born July 30th, 1992. We're going to be watching a game, one of his games. He's a Grandmaster and is a chess prodigy with dual citizenship of Italy and the United States. On July 2007, Caruana became a Grandmaster at the age of 14 years, 11 months, 20 days, the youngest Grandmaster in the history of both Italy and the United States. In January 2011, FIDE list, he was in these Wikipedia things are poorly written sometimes. Well, in January 2011, FIDE lists, he has an ELO of, well, he's 27-21 and he's 25th in the world. Okay, now the game we're going to look at today, we're going to start after start here. This is move 7. This is Black's move. Let me just quickly go through it so you can see. The reason I'm not going into details because this is an Alekhine exchange variation. And I just want to start at the where the book stops. This is where the book stops. The next move is out of book, and I just wanted to go over it. I think it's a interesting way of looking at the game. So let's see what happens. So what we have here is, it's White's move, and let's just review the situation right now. It's White to move. White has a bishop on d3, attacking this whole diagonal here. Also, this bishop is protecting this pawn on c4. White also has a bishop on c1, attacking this whole diagonal here as well. This bishop is also protecting this pawn on b2. Also has a knight that could either go to the e2 square or could also go to the f3 square, depending. White also has the possibility of castling here. And finally, there's this knight on c4 that can be moved either to the a4 or the d5 square, respectively. So, and of course we have the queen that's beaming down at this diagonal here and at this diagonal here. So White's got a lot of interesting options on the board. Now for Black has a knight on b6 that can attack the pawn on c4 and the square a4. Also has a bishop that's backed up by a queen that can attack this whole diagonal. This knight on b8 is kind of waiting to be developed. The bishop on c8 is also raining down on this diagonal here. So this is Alekhine accepted variation. If you want the details on how we got here, right under this video, right on this video, you'll find the PGN file so you can look through it and see more details on how the Alekhine accepted variation gets us to this place. Alright, so let's proceed with the game. Next move for White is knight e2, which attacks the f4 square and adds protection to the d4 square. Black responds with c6, attacking the b5 square and attacking the d5 square. White goes with queen c2, which actually uses this system of, not the system, it's an attack on this pawn on h7, threatening the king on the check. Totally, Black can see this coming. These guys are, Kung Fu masters. This is probably some sort of book extension or something that, I can't fathom yet. Black goes ahead and attacks or defends with pawn f5, which is preventing that vicious attack by the bishop on d3. White goes ahead and castles. Knight goes ahead and does knight a E6, which usually is not recommended because of the attacking capabilities of the knight stuck to a wall. But in this case, since there are two pawns attacking the, well, there's the pawn attacking the the B5 square, and the pawn attacking the C5 square. This area, this whole 5 area, is pretty much disputed. This is a line of attrition right here. White goes on A3, protecting that space or that square on B4. Black retreats to knight C7. White advances with B3. As you can see, White is controlling a lot on the queen side. There's a lot of action on the queen side for White. A4, B4, B5 is C5, D5, E5, and E4 are all being protected or attacked by White's pieces. It's a very, on the same token, Black is also attacking a lot of that real estate with his pieces as well. And it goes ahead with G6. Now, what does this do? I don't know. I wouldn't do that, but then again, you know, it seems like you're leaving your king open. Again, the attack continues with bishop E3, bishop F6 is attacking that pawn on D4, rook D1, another attacker or another defender for that pawn, but then that bishop looks kind of stuck there. I don't know. We'll see. Black retreats to G7. White attacks on F4, knight F4, which has the possibility of going to, I don't know, maybe the E6 square for a fork, but then that knight on C7 is protecting, so let's see. Queen F6 attacks that pawn on D4, also opens a way for the queen on the king side, with the idea of probably using some sort of battery with the bishop on C8. Continues with A4, putting some pressure on that queen side. Black retreats or moves to knight D7, knight E2, queen E7. Now this is attacking that bishop on E3, which is being protected by that pawn on F2, and now by that rook on E7. Knight F6, which is not really, well, it could attack that space on that E4 square, because it's being backed up by the F pawn on F5. But then again, bishop captures, and yeah, there's 3 attackers versus 1 attacker from White, so it's on. Bishop D2 gives the rook some space, possibly a discovered attack with that rook on E1. So then that finishes our review for this game. We won't be able to look at the entire game. It's quite a long one. It's what is it, 47 moves. White ends up winning. I invite you to look at the completion of this game. I enjoyed making this video. It's a general review of a bit of the opening principles and a tiny little bit of middle game. We didn't really get into it. There's a lot more action left on this game, but that's all we have for today. Thank you for watching.